Okay, this is Mummy. We're gonna watch The Amateur. I didn't think it would be this gross when I got up here, but hopefully it's an 8. The preliminary reviews for The Drop, which I thought looked bad, are way better. I haven't looked at the ones for The Amateur, so here's hoping I didn't make a big mistake. Alright, it only took like 3 days, but I can finally make a video about it. I watched The Amateur, the 2025 version, and then, because I haven't seen anybody talk about it that much, I did go home and I watched the 1981 The Amateur, the movie that this movie is based on, which is based on a book that came out the same year that seems like a suspiciously quick turnaround, although the guy who wrote the movie also wrote the book, so, that was his genre, so, I don't know. I think both movies are pretty good. Between the two of them, if they had been chopped up and blurred together a little more, I think that there's a 10 here somewhere. It seems almost a little generic, but it's hard to overlook, only because the movie is so old. It probably gave birth to a lot of the things that came after it. So, in the same way that this newer one seems like it's almost a little generic at times, that's because this other one is so generic. It's from the 80s, and it was wildly popular, at least for its time. The 1981 version is rated R, and it's about 10 minutes shorter, and it's kind of wild because in the very first, couple minutes, there's the whole heist thing, a little bit about the couple, and then you basically see the fiance in the movie. In the 1981 version, it's a fiance, not his wife. She basically gets shot on screen, and it's cut because, special effects in the 80s, but that's kind of bananas for, a 1980s movie. I don't know. And I'm used to, a lot of the things in the 80s being kind of wild, just popping off for no reason, but this was definitely a super big surprise because it's even cut away from in the new version, which almost is a negative because I feel like what the 80s version does is really good in that it's very clear that this character's grieving and struggling and trying to deal with it in his own way, although it's very clear that he, becomes a sociopath in some regards, and I think that's a better handle on it than Rami Malek just seems kind of reserved in a lot of ways, and he never seems to, lose his mind. I love the scenes where the wife shows up in the new one because it's so good, and I don't know if it's the soundtrack or what, but I just don't think that those moments land the way they're meant to, and I wanted more out of it, or to not have it at all. Also, as a quick shout out and spoiler for the new movie, if you're gonna watch it, when was the last time you saw somebody shoot at a car in a chase scene and somebody actually die on the inside of the car? Shit is bananas. Great. 10 out of 10. She doesn't die in the original. I don't know if she dies in the book. I've suffered enough. I enjoyed both movies, but I'm not going to read a book to go with, and both of them seem based on the same book. I don't know how different it would have been, but bananas. Have not seen that in a hot minute. 10 out of 10. Do recommend. In the 1981 version, they make a big deal about what a great cryptographer. He's a cryptographer in the original. It's a little different than what Rami Malek's character is. But they talk basically ad nauseum about what a great agent he is in his field. And then, he goes to the training, and then eventually he elects to leave in a little bit different vibe than Rami Malek's did. But I wish there'd been a little bit more of that in the new one, because Rami Malek is very good, but it's not clear that he's that much better than, all of his friends. And if they weren't going to be a factor in the movie at any point, why do we spend any time watching them or looking at them or, vibing with them? In the same way that, he has that moment with John Bernthal very early on in the film, and it almost seems until about the 3/4 point that, he just got cut out of the movie. And then, of course, they have the coffee scene. That's all pretty good. But I just wish they had made more ado about it because it's definitely a good vibe. It fits so well in, the fiction, but the friendship that he has with all these people, it just never comes up again. You expect half of the time that they're going to be helping him or doing something for him, and it's just not what's going on. Where in the original, he's very much alone. It's super clear that, people dote on him just a touch, just to check on him, but, only as much as your boss would have been expected to in the 80s. I feel like both films either are 20 minutes too long or 20 minutes too short. I really enjoyed both. They're probably a 6 and an 8 respectively. I can't believe how good the 1981 version is, although I wouldn't particularly recommend anybody watching it. because it's fine, it's good, but it's got the same, like, it feels like it drags in a couple spots, and the spots where it goes a little too quick, it just doesn't explain anything of it. It's trying to show you, and it's just not doing a great job of it, but that's okay. I really enjoyed both movies. I wish the newer one had been a touch better. I'm gonna go watch The Drop later, here in like an hour, because that's the movie I should have watched anyways. Have fun, be good.